Hey guys, what's up? It's Cubus here. For today's review, I've picked a game that looks very appealing on the trailers, simultaneously raising a question. Will it be as much fun as it looks like? Today we're going to find out if Sniper Elite 3 is patched. The gameplay of the game is something quite refreshing, comparing it to most of other action games. As title suggests, you are supposed to become a sniper, and soon gain yourself a nickname of Desert Ghost given to you by your enemies. And I must admit that this game does a very good job in training you and changing your game style over time. First thing you will learn is how to hide yourself and your actions. That means firing when other sounds cover your rifle shots, hiding in the shadows, and taking down foes one by one with your knife. Add to this distracting your enemies, looking for good sniping points, and doing recon before engaging adversaries. You also must keep an eye on your heartbeat and for other snipers, which appears as small blinks of light reflecting from their scopes for a fraction of a second. Halfway through the game you will notice how much you've improved, and I think that's really impressive. But the important thing here is the difficulty level. Sniper Elite 3 does a very uncommon thing, not only giving you a choice of few predefined levels, but you can also adjust it the way you see fit. And I really encourage you that you go for more realistic settings, including things like wind and bullet drop affecting your shots. Just don't be intimidated by the way it sounds, because the creators are aware of that most of us don't have appropriate training, giving you a sniper sense. What it does basically is steadying your hand and showing you where your bullet will actually hit. But as it's explained by holding your breath, it's impossible to exploit this. Levels are well designed in terms of gameplay, not only giving you perfect sniping points, but forcing you to relocate and finding routes around enemies, making Sniper Elite 3 non-linear experience. But it also means that there is no autosave, so you will have to do it yourself, as you will probably see in gameplay in the background. But I think that the biggest selling point of this game is that it's simply spectacular. The X-ray finishes are very entertaining, making this game not only fun to play, but also fun to watch. And because player is forced to quit sniping quite often, you don't get bored too quickly. But it's not all bullseye in terms of design. The biggest issue here is the writing, as I have almost no idea what this game is about. Well, except for shooting Nazis, of course. Unfortunately, the quality of story is matched by the quality of character creation. Throughout the game there is the main protagonist and exactly one character beside him that takes a part in the story. And trust me, you don't ever really care for him. Sniper Elite 3 also has a multiplayer mode, but I think that the creators would most probably like to forget about it. First, it seems like they were trying to copy multiplayer modes of Call of Duty and Gears of War, completely forgetting how well they did with doing exact opposite in single player. And to make things worse, they didn't make a good job copying them. And all is completely ruined with technical issues, but I will tell about it later. All in all, the gameplay is very well designed, but the game suffers because of rubbish writing and multiplayer copied from the others. So in the end, I'm going to award this game 6 points for design. The technical side of the game is pretty solid. Frame rate is smooth and loading times are very short. There are also no bugs that would totally break the game or corrupt your save files. There isn't anything very impressive or worth mentioning though. It's a pretty solid experience, but unfortunately there are 3 things that I have to mention. First is that animations of enemies aren't perfect. Normally I would probably let the game away with a warning, but this time it affects the gameplay. Because when you figure out a patrol route of a guard, you start to plan the way to take him down. You figure out the sound covers and where to aim when they will cover your shot. And then, when you're about to put a bullet into your enemy's head, he his animation suddenly breaks, making him sort of stutter. Because of that, you miss your shot and you have to wait for all the variables to be just fine again. I even witnessed an enemy teleporting once, so that's not good either. As I mentioned before, multiplayer modes are another issue. Somehow, all the controls don't work as good as they do in single player. Additionally, the game is very laggy and seems that it sometimes loses sound. It's especially weird because I've only witnessed it in multiplayer. It's just like if the developers gave this part of the game to their interns team to make. And the final issue is the AI of the enemies. I do understand that they couldn't have made them too intelligent, as the game would become unplayable. I have a problem with it because it's inconsistent. One time, you can sneak up on a guard easily, where he should notice you without any problem. Another time, he spots you from triple the usual distance. That makes the game unnecessary, unpredictable, and I don't think that it's a good thing. All in all, it's not a bad game in technical side, but it's far from perfect, and that's why I'm going to award it with 6 points for technicalities. The base game has 8 pretty big and long missions out of the box. Each took me something between 1.5 to 2 hours to complete. That's not so bad, especially when you can currently buy this game for $30 on PSN. For another $30 you can get a season pass with 4 more missions, some skins and additional weapons. But there is an option, as you can buy an equivalent Ultimate Edition for $40. This one contains everything in it, from both main game and the season pass. And as I think that it's not a bad price, I'm still going to deduct points here. I do understand that other games would charge you a total of $100 or more, but it's just in the name of the principles. If Sniper Elite 3 was sold only as Ultimate Edition for $40, I might have even given it 8 points for the marketing side. But I think that it's still not right for publishers to sell you content that could have been there in the first place. Bearing that in mind, and a rather good price, I'm going to give the publishers 7 points out of 10 for their business practice. Summarizing, Sniper Elite 3 is a quite good and fun single-player game with multiplayer that should be wiped away from the cards of the history. It has some good ideas, but it's not enough to keep players interested for a long time. With a total score of 19 points out of 30, it sets the game as a mediocre title that's worth checking out, but either used, borrowed, or bought on sale. That's all for today. If you liked this review, please click like and subscribe. You can also follow IsItPatch on Facebook and subscribe my Twitch channel where I stream the games I'm about to review next. But of course only if I have right conditions to stream them. Links for both are in the video's description. As always, thanks for watching and take care.